Bonjour, voici vidéo 4i, les pronoms démonstratifs. Demonstrative pronouns are just what their name implies. They're going to show you something. We've seen these before. Celui is the masculine demonstrative pronoun. Ce is plural. Celle is the feminine demonstrative pronoun. Celle with an S is the feminine plural. Most often, these are used with a little suffix, si or la. And that is where we get the distinction between this and that and these and those. Because these demonstrative pronouns can mean this, that, these, or those. So how do we make the distinction between this, something that's maybe closer to me that I'm showing, and that, something that's maybe farther away? Well, that's where the si and the la come in. Si is from ici, here, so that's this, and la is from là-bas, which is over there, so that means that. So when I put celui-ci, I'm talking about this one. But if I put ceux-là, I'm talking about those over there, or those ones. Okay? So that is probably the most common use of these pronouns to distinguish between this and that and these and those. And let's look at an example on in your textbook on page 61. Cet homme-ci est togolais, mais celui-là est sénégalais. This man, and you see that they even put the C on the there, and that's perfectly fine. That stresses that it's this man is Togolais, mais celui-là, that one, is from Senegal, is Senegalese. Okay? So whenever we're putting the C on anything, it's always going to be referring to this one. And whenever we put la on anything, we're going to see that it's going to refer to that one. Another example of these pronouns being used is with the phrase qui or que. And again, you can look at your book for an example there, followed by a relative pronoun. This is on page 62. Quelle robe préfères-tu? Je préfère celle qui est en velours. I prefer the one that is in velvet. Okay? Or est ton collier to... Okay, sorry, let me read that again. Est ton collier que tu portes ce soir? Non, je porte celui que j'ai emprunté à Madame Forestier. So, is this the necklace that you're wearing? Okay, that's where I'm getting confused. S. Is this your necklace that you're wearing this evening? No, I'm wearing the one that I borrowed from Madame Forestier. That goes back to that story that we read. Okay, so we can follow celui or celle by qui, que, and also by où. Dans quelle bijouterie est-ce que Mathilde achète le collier? Dans celle où Madame Forestier achète tous ses colliers. In the one where Madame Forestier buys all her necklaces. So that is also a common way that we will see these used. And then the final way is with the pronoun de. I'm sorry, not the pronoun. The preposition de and a noun to show possession. À la bijouterie, il trouve un collier identique à celle de Madame Forestier. At the jewelry store, they find a necklace identical to the one of Madame Forestier. We would say Madame Forestier's, because we do apostrophe S to show possession, but in French they don't. They would say the one of Madame Forestier. Okay, let's look at exercise S together. We'll do that and fill these in. The most important thing to remember is that when we're talking about this, we're going to use si at the end of it, and when we're talking about that, we're going to use la at the end of it. Another way that they might refer to it is by using former and latter. I don't know if you've ever heard of that before, but when you're talking about something that's the former, and it's the one that you mentioned first, the longest ago, and when you use the latter, when we talk about the latter, that's the one that we just mentioned. And it talks about that a little bit in your book. If you're confused, hopefully this exercise will clear that up. The former and the latter can be kind of odd to American speakers, but the idea is just the one that is closest to you is this, and the one that's farthest from you, or the one that was mentioned the longest time ago, would be that. Just think about it if you're standing there and pointing. Usually clears up any confusion. So, est au magasin, page 62, complétez chaque phrase par le pronom démonstratif qui convient. Complete each sentence with the, this is by, but with the demonstrative pronoun that fits. Modèle, ce sac-ci est trop lourd. Je préfère celui-là. This bag here, this one, is too heavy. I prefer that one. Okay, we've got this one and that one. So, how did we choose celui-là? Well, we went back to sac. Sac is masculine, so celui was chosen. Okay, cette cravate-ci, this is number one, est belle, mais je préfère. So we've got a couple clues here. We have cette and we have belle that shows us that cravate is feminine. So this tie, this necktie is pretty, but I prefer celle-là. That one. Celle-là. Okay? So celle comes from cravate, which is feminine, and la we add because we want to make the distinction between this one and that one. This is that one. Numéro 2. Voici deux costumes. Blanc et bleu clair et blanc et bleu foncé. So we want to say this one, that one and this one. So here are two suits. That one is light blue and this one is dark blue. If I want to say that one, I'm going to use la as the suffix, right? So we got costume. We can see from the adjectives that they are not, the costume is not feminine. It's a masculine word. So we can say, what was it first? That one? Celui, la, and celui, ci. Okay? So that one is light blue. This one is dark blue. Numéro 3. Quelles chaussures choisir? What shoes to choose? These are sont confortables, mais those sont plus à mon goût. These are comfortable, but those are more to my taste. So again, when I want these, we go back to chaussure. We can't really tell from our adjectives whether it's masculine or feminine, but you of course remember that chaussure is feminine. So you say, these are comfortable. Celles-ci sont plus confortables, mais those, celles-là, sont plus à mon goût. But those are more to my taste. Okay, tournez la page. The exercise continues on the next page. Gisèle, regarde ses écharpes. An écharpe is a scarf. This one is inexpensive and that one costs a lot. So écharpe. Can't really tell from the sentence whether it's masculine or feminine. So either pause and look it up, or maybe you remember that they are feminine. So I want to say this one. Is that what I want to say first? Yes, this one. Celle. This one. Celle-ci est bon marché. Et celle-là est très cher, coûte très cher. So this one and that one. 5. Ces manteaux-ci sont trop courts. Blank sont trop longs. Manteau is an outer coat and winter coat. These coats are too short. We want to say those are too long. So manteau, we want the plural. So we're going to go with ce. And we want those. We've already mentioned these, so we want to go cela. Those are too long. Numéro 6. Vous avez essayé 2 robes. La vendeuse vous dit, à mon avis, the former, est très belle, mais the latter vous va beaucoup mieux. You have tried on 2 dresses. The sales lady tells you, in my opinion, the former is very pretty, but the latter really suits you much better. So we want the former. So we will want celle-là, because that goes with the robe. Celle-là. The former, the one I mentioned longer ago, that one. But this one, the latter, the one I have just mentioned, and that would be celle-ci. Okay? Numéro 7. Je vous conseille de lire ces 2 livres. Blank, this one, est très intéressant, mais that one est plus instructif. So as you look at those and figure out which ones you need there, let me erase here so we can put the rest of these up. Okay, so I advise you to read these 2 books. This one is very interesting, but that one is more instructive. So we want books, masculine, and we're talking about this one and that one, so they are singular. This one would be celui-ci. Oops. And then that one would be celui-là. This one is more interesting. That one is more instructive. And la dernière, numéro 8. Regardez ces beaux gants. Those sont en laine, mais these sont en daim. N'est-ce pas? So look at those beautiful gloves. And we want those, and then we want these. That refers to plural. Gant is masculine. So we want those, ceux-là, are wool, mais these, ceux-ci, sont en daim. Daim is suede, if I remember correctly. If you want to flip back in your book and check, you can. Okay, so when we use ci, it makes it this one or that one or these ones. I'm sorry, it makes it, I said the wrong thing. It makes it this one or these. And when we use la, it makes it that one or those. Okay, again, if you have questions, give me a call or send me an email, and that will conclude exercice, what were we on here? Exercice 4i. Au revoir.